A footballer-turned-drill rapper has been named as the victim stabbed to death at Notting Hill Carnival after traveling from Bristol to simply to have a good time as police hunt his killer. Takayo Nembhard, 21, was fatally stabbed on Ladbroke Grove under the Westway flyover at 8 p.m. on Monday as thousands lined the streets for the West London Carnival. Police officers gave him first aid until the arrival of paramedics before he was taken to an ambulance through significant crowds in challenging circumstances. Mr. Nembhard, who went by the stage name Korstrich and has just under 1 million views across his music videos on YouTube, was taken to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead last night. He was a former youth team player at Bristol Rovers before turning to drill rapping when he had to retire from football due to an injury. His girlfriend is also currently pregnant, with a poignant tribute saying the child will never meet his father. His death was confirmed in an Instagram post today, which said, "2 years ago a young 19-year-old man came from Bristol to meet me at my studio with his dad. His name was Takayo Nembhard aka Korstrich. That meeting took us on a journey. We recorded some great music together. His talent was endless, and I can tell you guys he was close to greatness. So it's with a heavy heart that I bring the news that Takayo Korstrich passed away last night. He came from Bristol to simply have a good time at the London Carnival, and this is the end result. My deepest condolences to TK's mother and father, his brother, 2 sisters, girlfriend and child that will never meet his father. TK was a good kid, a good guy, and what has happened breaks my heart. Rest in peace, my friend." Mr. Nembhard's manager Chris Patrick said in a statement, "He went to Carnival with his younger sister and friends to have a good time. This is the worst possible ending for a talented kid." The Metropolitan Police said his next of kin have been informed and are being supported by specialist officers. It comes as Roy Ram, former commander of specialist operations at the Met, today said the final day of Notting Hill degenerates into violence. He told LBC, "For most people it is safe. We saw a good day on Sunday. Yesterday for most of the day it was a safe place and well policed. Police have learned a great deal over many years about how to police the carnival. But there is a time, always on the last day it seems, that it degenerates. The drug sellers, the gangs, seem to reject the spirit of carnival and take the opportunity to settle scores, to mark out territory, and bring out the knives. It is a tragedy for the family of the young man who died, and a tragedy for the people of Notting Hill. It is very difficult to do anything other than the police are doing now. It started out as a spontaneous event many years ago, and police have joined into it, danced with the revelers. There were 7,000 police officers there on the day. Will 14,000 make any difference? The trouble is, these young men, and it is young men, they want to fight, mark out their territory and sell their drugs. They are determined to wreck it in the evenings." The Metropolitan Police Federation, which represents the force's officers, added, "Sad to report at least 34 Metropolitan Police officers were assaulted at this year's Notting Hill Carnival. We are supporting colleagues. Every year our brave officers come under attack at this event. Colleagues dread policing it. And yet nothing changes." Mayor of London Sadiq Khan said he was sickened by the fatal stabbing. He said, "I urge anyone with information to contact the police on 101 or anonymously by @CrimeStopperSick. There is no honor in staying silent." Part of Korstrich's persona, while performing, was wearing masks. In an interview with Wordplay magazine last July, he explained why, "I don't want my face to be the face everyone knows. I don't want to go to Tesco and have people know that it's me who makes the music. I don't care about fame, I just want to make music and have people enjoy it. I don't mind talking to people, don't get me wrong, but if I'm with my mum or sisters or something I just want to be able to chill out." He told how he began making music as a teenager after suffering a leg injury while playing for Bristol Rovers under-17 team. He said, "I was in the academy from the age of 6 to 16, but had an injury. I had a clot in my right leg, so I knew I wasn't going to play for a while. Because of that I wanted to find something to keep me focused, so I didn't go insane. I liked singing, so I was going to little studios here and there, and then started taking it more seriously. Witness Brian Stovell told the Evening Standard of the graphic scenes, saying, "I knew by the amount of blood that he wasn't going to make it. Most people in the crowd were caught up in the movement and vibe of the carnival." He also described efforts to try to save the man, adding, "There was one woman putting on surgical gloves, but she was a civilian. And another woman in distress was in the circle, it looked like she had been with him." The newspaper also reported that as officers tried to hold the crowd back from where the man was being given first aid, a woman could be heard shouting through the police line, "He's just a child." Why would they do that? As police continued to investigate, they appealed today for any witnesses to come forward with video footage or other information, saying there were hundreds of people in the immediate vicinity when this incident took place. At 9:30 p.m., police activated special powers within the area under a Section 60 order which allowed them to stop and search a person without suspicion for dangerous instruments and offensive weapons until 1 a.m. this morning. Detectives added that there had been a number of violent incidents and serious stabbings at this year's festival. Scotland Yard said officers had made 209 arrests since the start of the carnival as of 12:01 a.m. today, including 46 for assault, 8 for sexual assault, 36 for possession of drugs, 5 for criminal damage and 27 for public order. Police added that there were also 10 arrests for possession of psychoactive substances, 33 for possession of an offensive weapon, 7 for drink or drug driving, 1 theft, 1 robbery and 35 more listed as other. While the total number of arrests for the whole of this year's carnival has not yet been confirmed, the number at the 2019 festival was significantly higher at 353, compared to 374 in 2018. 313 in 2017 and 454 in 2016. Yesterday's stabbing is thought to have been the first murder at the Notting Hill Carnival since 2004 when Lee Christopher Subbaran, 27, of Mill Hill, was shot dead at point-blank range near Kensal Green Underground Station. The last day of the two-day festival yesterday, the Adults' Day Parade, ended officially at 8:30 p.m. last night after the event saw some 13 steel bands, 72 masked bands, 6 Brazilian bands, 36 sound systems and 300 stalls involved. Dr. Alison Hidari, commander of local policing, said this morning, officers from across the Met have been working tirelessly over the past 2 days to ensure that all those who came to Notting Hill Carnival could enjoy the experience safely. It was the culmination of months of close coordination with the organizers, our local authority and emergency service partners and the community. The atmosphere over the past 2 days has been largely positive and good-natured as carnival should be. Regrettably, on Monday evening we saw a number of violent incidents and a 21-year-old man has lost his life. Our thoughts are with his family as they come to terms with their terrible loss. A murder investigation is underway, led by homicide detectives from the Met Specialist Crime Command. They will pursue every possible line of inquiry to identify those responsible and bring them to justice. There were hundreds of people in the immediate vicinity when this incident took place. I would urge anyone who saw anything, who has video footage, or who has any other information that could assist officers to come forward. Anyone with information can contact the police directly on 101 providing the reference 747829 OG. The Metropolitan Police Events account tweeted late last night, a Section 60 order is in place within the Notting Hill Carnival footprint and borders. This commenced at 21:24 hours tonight until 1 o'clock hours 30th August. This is following a number of violent incidents and serious stabbings. Crowds remain within the footprint and wider areas. It comes after a Met Police horse died after collapsing while on duty at the carnival on Sunday evening. An investigation has since been launched into police horse, P.H. Sandown's death. The Met Police said the most recent carnival in 2019 costed £8.6 million to police. The festival does however bring hundreds of thousands of tourists into London and creates an estimated £120 million for the economy. Notting Hill is the largest street carnival in Europe, and an estimated 2 million people were expected to have attended over the course of the bank holiday weekend. The carnival first started in 1966, when about 1,000 people attended, and is famous for its celebration of Afro-Caribbean traditions. Organizers said last night when it ended, "It's been amazing to have the flamboyance and sounds of Notting Hill Carnival back on the road. Carnival has now officially ended. Thank you all again for making it so special. See you next year." London Mayor Sadiq Khan also welcomed its return, saying, "I'm delighted that Notting Hill Carnival will be returning to the streets of West London this weekend." This community-led celebration of Caribbean history and culture has become one of the world's biggest street festivals and part of the very fabric of this city. I urge everyone planning to attend Carnival to arrive early to make the most of this wonderful celebration of our capital's diversity. Street cleaners will also now face daunting task of tackling the piles of rubbish left on the streets after the Notting Hill Carnival over the weekend. Roads and streets surrounding the festival in West London were pictured full of piles of rubbish, which included a destroyed transport for London bike and tons of takeaway boxes. Dancers dressed in colorful feathered outfits brought the party when it returned to the streets surrounding Notting Hill for the first time in 3 years. On Sunday, footage showed the moment a bus stop collapsed during the carnival when a group of revelers danced on its roof. A huge crowd watching people on top of the Kensal House bus shelter on Ladbroke Grove were heard to gasp and exclaim in shock as the top gave way and the revelers fell onto the pavement, nearly crushing 4 people below. 2 people suffered minor injuries but did not need further treatment after the incident, which came at the end of Family Day, which saw bright and dazzling costumes as the carnival procession made its way along the streets. A woman also gave birth in a side street near the festival before paramedics took the mother and her newborn child to hospital. Officers were seen comforting the woman before paramedics arrived and took the mother and baby away in an ambulance. A London ambulance spokesperson said, "We were called at 6:45 p.m. on Sunday, August 28, to reports of a person in labor within the footprint of Notting Hill Carnival. We treated an adult and baby at the scene and took them to hospital as a priority." Mail Online has asked for an update on the condition of the mother and baby. Meanwhile, one video showed 2 men punching each other before being pulled apart by others after people around them were dancing and singing "Don't Worry About a Thing" to Bob Marley's 3 Little Birds. Sunday kicked off with members of the Emancipated Run crew dressed in green in tribute to those who died at Grenfell, beginning the parade and marking the official launch of Notting Hill Carnival. Crowds of young children blowing whistles danced down the streets with their parents in tow. Co-founder of the club Jules Stevenson said, "The atmosphere is electric. Everyone is so excited about Carnival being back." The 2-day festival has had a 2-year hiatus due to the pandemic. Different sound systems dotted around the streets of West London entertained the dancing crowds as revelers smiled to the booming music. Small children standing on the doorsteps of their houses waved Jamaican flags and waved at passers-by. In other parts of the country, hooded youths ran through the campsites at Reading and Leeds Festival burning chairs and abandoned tents, it has emerged.